How are you doing today, Ryan?
Doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. I do appreciate you. Can you introduce yourself to, maybe somebody that hasn't heard of you or Orbis or even Ardana?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Ryan, the founder of both Orbis and Ardana. Orbis being a layer two scaling solution for Cardano, and Ardana being a DeFi protocol for stablecoins and highly efficient stablecoin swaps. So I got my start in the space actually within the Ethereum ecosystem back in 2015, very close to when it launched, getting involved in as many early projects building there as I could and really getting accustomed to smart contracts, which was a very new concept that was brought in there. So I spent some time there, had short stints as a front end software developer, contributed to various different DeFi protocols in a range of roles, whether it was from general strategy and leadership to marketing and partnerships, and then also actual development as well. And my involvement in Cardano really started right around 2017, when it just launched as an early community member, and then slowly getting involved wherever I could, and actually transitioning into building on Cardano. That really came into play in late 2020, and that's when development of Ardana started, which is a DeFi protocol, and we're looking to become one of, if not the first, stablecoins to launch on Cardano and also provide infrastructure for efficient stablecoin transactions on Cardano, and really enable DeFi to flourish. So that was Ardana. And now moving on to Orbis, Orbis being a scaling solution, my experience, in other ecosystems beyond Cardano, and then also within Cardano, building Ardana and experiencing, roadblocks here and there in terms of scalability of where the current network is at. Really pushed myself and the team that was put together for Orbis to tackle that as well. So yeah, I guess to summarize my experience, it's in development, kind of leadership within DeFi protocols, building DeFi protocols, and then also moving into building scaling solutions, which is more of a cryptographic nature as opposed to building a DeFi protocol, which is heavily more on the smart contract development.
It's very valuable that you had time in the Ethereum space before coming to Cardano. Me personally, when I'm interacting with DEXs, I guess I've interacted with DEXs in the past, but I wasn't there for, the very beginning of, Ethereum's DeFi. So would you say that a lot of your knowledge has been benefited from interacting with Ethereum in the past? Because I personally didn't have that, value.
Yeah, definitely. I think the lessons that I learned there were even just beyond DeFi, but learning to think about blockchain beyond just the cryptocurrency itself, but the game theory aspects or the economic aspects or the philosophical aspects. Being in a DeFi ecosystem for a while, for years, forces you to think in different ways. So I think just that and being involved in Ethereum was definitely helpful to, think in a more open-minded way of how can you put together a DeFi protocol that's sustainable in the long run. So I think a lot of the experience that I've gotten from Ethereum is definitely benefiting here on Cardano, given that building these kinds of protocols and these primitives is very difficult and it's challenging and there's a lot of growing pains. And, we've already gone through that on Ethereum, and I can bring those lessons over of, well, what works and what doesn't work, what kind of token mechanics work, for this kind of protocol versus what, mechanics would be unsustainable in the long run. So it's almost as if I got together, experiences of success, but then also a lot of learning experiences through failure. And just knowing what not to do and what doesn't work because it's already been tried on Ethereum and it already doesn't work. So Cardano can actually benefit from looking back and focusing on what works and moving in that direction.